Hey beloved, Krista Pettiford here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you are a woman over 40, navigating change, a midlife transition, or simply trying to rediscover your identity in this season, I want you to pause with me today. I have a question for you. Do you truly believe that you are loved, accepted, and beautiful in the eyes of your Heavenly Father? So many of us at this age, after life has gone through so many different seasons and ups and downs and taken us through different things, carry silent questions. We have questions in our heart that we speak over ourselves silently. Am I enough? Am I seen? Do I still matter in this season of my life? The answer, beloved, is yes. And today we are going to step into God's love, His lab, that is His love, acceptance, and beauty. I want to talk to you about the power of God's love, acceptance, and beauty that shapes our identity and the way that we live our faith through every season of life, including midlife and the season that you find yourself in today. God's love, acceptance, and beauty does shape our identity. It's never too late. And so let's talk about God's unfailing love. And I want to look at these three things: God's love, acceptance, and beauty that shapes our identity and the way we live our faith through the story of, you guessed it, Naomi. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I talk about Naomi and Ruth a lot. Let's start with love, the kind of love that never fails. This is God's love, the unfailing love of God. Naomi, in the book of Ruth, experienced deep grief and bitterness and loss. She felt forgotten. She felt that God had given up on her. She felt forsaken. She felt that she was just subject to a life of survival and not thriving. And she began to call herself Mara, which means bitter, instead of beautiful, which is the root and meaning of her name, Naomi. But even in her sorrow, even in all of those wrong thoughts that had built up through her life experiences, God did not abandon her. He never stopped loving her. When she called herself Mara, that was never the name that He had given to her. And He was with her in her darkest, most difficult season. Through God's divine providence, He met her in the fields of Moab with a way forward. His divine providence and His love for her, out of His love for her, He provided that way forward. When she was told that the Lord had visited His people in Moab, it gave her the courage to move forward. That was God in His love speaking, sending a word to her, making a divine intersection for her to choose to go forward. And she responded with courage, even though she was still afraid. But then she experienced Ruth's loyalty, and this is God's love being poured out on her through people, and Boaz's provision. All of these things reminds us that Naomi, even though she did not believe it at first, she was still seen in her circumstance and loved by God. And so are you, wherever you're at and whatever you are facing in your season of being over 40. Even if you're not over 40 and you are watching this, wherever season you find yourself in, whatever transition or change you are navigating, you are loved, you are seen by God, you are heard by God, and you are known by God. Even when it feels like life is passing you by and that God does not love you and He doesn't hear you, God's love is still writing your story. Romans 8:38 reminds us that nothing separates us from the love of God. Not age, not past mistakes, not even midlife changes. In midlife, when relationships change and children leave home, and sometimes we find ourselves doing life alone, We might feel invisible, but God still sees you through the eyes of his love. You are not overlooked. You are adored by your heavenly Father. Which brings me to the second word, acceptance. You belong to God. And there's something powerful about being chosen by God. God doesn't tolerate you. He treasures you. He treasures each one of his daughters. Ephesians 1:6 says that we are accepted in the beloved. And God's acceptance is not just being accepted into a clique or a club like the world, but it's his grace and favor, the unfailing favor that is never ending, the unfailing grace that is never ending. Matter of fact, it is the high favor. It is the when the angel told Mary that she was blessed and highly favored in Luke 1, when he prophesied to her and shared the message with heaven with her that she was going to have a child by the Most High. He said, you are highly favored. It's the same word that Paul uses in Ephesians. We are highly favored, and we have been given unmerited, undeserved favor by God through Jesus Christ. That never ends. So you do not have to fit into the world's mold. You are accepted in the beloved. You already belong to Christ, and he will put you with people that will fit into your purpose and his plans for you. You do not need to earn acceptance through achievement, appearances, or status. And sometimes we look for that in midlife. What has my life amounted to? Who am I now? And so we look for different ways to be accepted, different things that we do to trying to achieve a certain status. But you are valuable, and your value does not expire with age or when your roles change. It deepens. God's acceptance of you is full as you are right now in this season. Maybe you felt rejected, and maybe you feel rejected right now through divorce, job loss, or friendships that have faded, ministry or business that has not worked out. But God's acceptance of you never waver. His acceptance never wavers. It never ends. You belong to him now and forever. And his acceptance makes room for you with the people and the places and the purpose that he has for you in this season. I want to talk about beauty, something that we all struggle with as we get older. Things begin to sag and fall, and we have to do more to work out and stay fit, not just on the inside, but on the outside. But I want you to know that you are beautiful because of who you are in him, and because he says that you are beautiful. True beauty is not found in the makeup we wear, our clothes, our hair. We all want to look beautiful on the outside, or most of us do, but that does not define you. It's not the filters or flawless skin. True beauty is found in the reflection of Christ in you, seen through me and you. Your beauty doesn't diminish with age, it deepens. Like Naomi, your story carries a quiet, radiant strength that only comes through experience and faith. And when Naomi realized that God still loved her, she reclaimed her identity. Maybe you need to do the same thing. And she stopped calling herself Mara, bitter and broken, and she reclaimed that name, Beauty. Psalms 139 says, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That includes every line, every lesson, and every year in your life. Even the difficult things, even the hard, hurtful things, the way that we go through, not just what we go through, defines us. The world may define beauty as youthful and external, but God sees beauty as your resilience, wisdom, and your surrendered heart, your reflection of him. Like I said, when you embrace your midlife season, your life over 40, You reflect a beauty that doesn't fade, no matter how old you get, that does not fade with age. A beauty rooted in grace, not perfection. So I want to say to you that midlife and being over 40 and navigating change, rediscovering your identity, navigating transition doesn't have to be a crisis. Midlife doesn't have to be a crisis. It is a calling. It's a calling to God's lab to know that you are enough. So, daughter of God, take a deep breath today, whatever you are navigating. I pray that you are encouraged. I want you to know this truth. You are loved, you are accepted, and you are beautiful, just as you are in this season. And if this video has spoken to your heart, I want to invite you to grab a copy of my book, A Call to God's Daughters to Step into His Lab. It's based on the book of Ruth, and it follows Ruth and Naomi's journey from Moab into Bethlehem and how God shaped their identity and the way they lived out their faith through their different seasons in life. It will help you go deeper in these truths and remind you that this season is not a setback, but it's a sacred invitation to step deeper into God's love and acceptance and beauty, which shapes our identity and the way that we live out our faith through every season. You can grab a copy. There will be a link in the description. And comment below if this blessed you. God's Lab, L.A.B. That's an acronym for God's Love, Acceptance, and Beauty. If you receive this truth today, and share it with another sister, someone over 40, or someone who is having an identity struggle, share it with them so that they can be blessed. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and as I already said, share with the sister who needs a reminder of her worth today. God bless you. Until next time.